I'm just happy to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
How do? How are we all? Holla, Shadow Scout, Patch, Ungie, Wyborg. Hello.
JR
Thank
might
you
be a
very much.
dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Thank you very much for the sub. I do indeed. Thank you very much, Flanathea. How are we tonight, Flan? We all right? Let me know if you can hear this massive fan over here. So I've got the laser running. When I'm quiet, I don't see anything on my bar, but just let me know if the sound is dreadful. If so, I'll turn it off. Oh, an MSR. Alexei Krona. Hello. Oh, I need to thank someone for a follow that happened during the pre-show. I can't remember who it was now, though. Absolutely loved the name, though. How was it? It's not in the thing. Oh, that's annoying. Thank you for the follow, whoever it was. Much appreciated. So we have an MSR. We've got a few things to catch up on. So we're now just down to our Sunday streams, just because the rest of this year is going to be fucking crazy. We're moving to the new workshop. So that sort of starts this month, although the tendency doesn't start until the 1st of November. I'm starting to move stuff in the month before because the building's kind of been getting ready for us. New electrics are being put in and all that kind of stuff. It's so big. There's room for us just to start piling stuff in. I've got a container worth of stuff. So
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
I do indeed, and Raya's definitely one of them. Thank you very much for the resub, Rye. We shall get on to the JRDF in-game shenanigans momentarily. I need to get everything into the workshop. There's a couple of projects that need to happen before the CNC goes away. Mini Flames, 070, welcome. It's getting there. It's getting there. But I thought little bit of an update on a little MSR. So we have an MSR. Those in the server will have seen some little spoilers of this cute little guy. So this is a 1 to 500 MSR. I did have a max on my desk. 1 second. Let's just rip a body of a black off just for size comparison. So the MSR got really big. Mr. Curtis fattened her up. AFA UK AFA. Well, welcome. It looks like it has a CIG special skin. Yes, it is very, very pink and green. I pick random fucking colors when I'm doing models. I don't. They're just very, very random. It does look a little bit like a Logitech mouse. Actually, bizarrely, that actually feels really good as a mouse. That is bizarre. Sire Bubbington, that was who followed. Thank you very much for the follow. Hi, I would like to ask about how this licensing went about for your models. I've been making some Star Citizen Lego models and maybe would like to do something similar. Good question. So, it's a little bit of a, I will try and truncate the story as much as possible. So I first did a big GSS notice. Right there, because you can't see that. It is just a fucking mess. I did a fan project back in 2016, 2017. So I started building it end of 2016. It finished it in 2017. Took it to a Britain Con. So that was that big yellow GSS spacesuit locker piece. That ended up at the office, and they asked me to do a load of desks for Gamescom in 2017. So I did a load of desks for Gamescom 2017, went out to Germany. I do a lot of events in Germany. It's like the biggest place for events in Europe. So I was very used to going there. So while I was there, I spoke to Carl Jones and Ortwin about getting a license to be able to make furniture. At that time, I wanted to make furniture and large props. And we got the ball rolling there, had a nice meeting with them at Gamescom. It was really nice because this is back in 2017. The company was a quarter of the size it currently is. there wasn't a dedicated merchandise team at that point. It all sort of flew under Carl's banner, and I suppose Sandy's banner, because she was marketing back then, but it was not marketing of the game. So it was more a legal question at that point, because they didn't have any licensees or anyone like us. So it mainly was Carl who was sort of like corporate COO, and Ortwin who was head of legal. So that conversation started. We backed and forth for about a year before we got our sort of master license agreement penciled out and sort of in place. And then we started doing furniture, and we did full-size crates and desks and all this sort of stuff. And we sold one or two. They weren't particularly profitable. It was mainly a bit of a sideline for us doing the stuff for their events, to be honest. I mean, we obviously did 2 Citizen Cons after that. We did a load of other stuff for their office and things like that. And then when we did the Kraken in 2018, one of the things we needed to do for that model was do 3D printed diorama, smaller ships on top. So we bought 3D printers and we got into it like that. So after that, we did a Christmas Grey Caps present for a load of people at CIG that had really helped us out on the CitizenCon project. And that was one of the things that started the conversation about potentially doing kit models as merchandise, or models as merchandise, I should say. Because what we did is early 2019, yes, it would have been early 2019, we basically pitched 4 or 5 different ideas of merchandise we would want to make, and they picked one of them. They let us do one of them, which was the kit models. So specifically kit models, unpainted, because that definitely wasn't something they wanted to do. And that's one of the interesting things. We are successful with licenses that we put in, only if we are putting in something that they have no intention of doing themselves in turn. So without saying what the other four things were, the kit models were the thing that they were like, no, we're never going to do this. This is never going to be competing against our own merchandise. So we're happy for you to do it. We still have to license every single kit and diorama and product individually. It isn't a blanket license. Every single kit or diorama or product of any type with CIG IP has to go through the same process. We did frighteningly write out all the process of getting a kit model on shelf, and it was 176 steps, which is frightening, and it does take forever. Where we are finally in the last couple of steps for the Carrack, so we'll get into that in a minute. But very exciting. The last hurdle has been surpassed, so we are on the very, very final straight. So I hope that kind of helps. I mean, there is now from a point of view of how it would happen now, there is now a dedicated merchandise team in place at Cloud Imperium. They're based in Austin, Texas, and headed up by a guy called Neil Buckmaster. And he is basically he's our go-to now for all our merchandise stuff. Everything goes through him. And there's also Elliot, who is the new Sandy. So Elliot is now in charge of marketing. I think he's been in the job for a couple of years now. Must have been. He came in a couple of months before CitizenCon 2019. So yeah, it's been a few years in the role now. So they're the people to approach. Unlike us, we're probably a bad example because we were way back in 2017 when we started talking to them, and we were already one of their suppliers, so it was a much easier conversation to have. And there wasn't really anything in place, any sort of system in place for licensees. Who is responsible for merchandising? Yeah, so CIG have a dedicated team for merchandising. It sits under Elliot, who is now marketing manager, Sandy's old job, and I suppose under COO as well. It's a team of a team of people now dealing with their merchandise. So there is people in place. There is a dedicated merchandise department now, and that's who we talk to all the time. I mean, so There are other people who are sort of in a similar situation to you that have approached them. Um, People like Squadrons doing the card game. I know that Nighthawk had approached people regarding a tabletop game. They are relatively easy to approach to sort of sort of get in contact with CIG as a company. I think because of their open development are really transparent. You can just message them. And if you put like it seems daft, but even putting a ticket in often gets response. Another way of coming at it, and a lot of ventures start this way. This wasn't around when we were doing it, when we first did it, but it's certainly around now. Is apply for a fan license. So the fan kit um, covers a huge amount of projects. I guess it depends whether you want to make money out of it. If you want to make money out of it, then you're after a commercial license. To make money out of just instructions. Hello, PB8, how are you? Or BB88, I should say. How are you? I haven't seen you in ages. Good stream, I hope. Good. Thank you very much for the rate. Hey, how are you? I've not seen you in ages. How has the apocalypse been to you? Hope you are all good and safe and alive. Oh, nice. That sounds very chill. I like it. So I would come at it from that point of view. Put a fan kit license in. I mean, I don't know how the structure day by day. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how the structure of selling instructions works, to be honest. It's that whole thing. Once it's out there, it'll just get copied and put on the internet. So I don't understand the ins and outs of that sort of stuff. And yeah, but I would go at it from a fan license point of view, and maybe put in that fan license application that you're actually looking also for a commercial license, and that will go through to the same legal teams that are the licensing team. So there is that like actual connection in place now. So if you look up the fan license, if someone who is in front of a computer could link the fan kit, that would be absolutely awesome. We'll throw it in chat. I don't have the link on me. But yeah, that would definitely go down that route, because that will get you to the right people very quickly. As I say, we're a bit of an edge case because we've been involved with them way before all these processes were in place. So we talk directly to people we're already involved with. But as I say, there's quite a lot of people doing similar fan projects and stuff. They want to go commercial, and I can't say anything, but I do know of other fan or community projects that have or are in the process of becoming official things. So we are not the only people that are doing this. So have faith. So we should probably talk a little bit about MSR. I'm just going to is there an audio desync? Oh, yeah, like a really big desync today. Yeah, our mics are insane, and I'm doing a dual PC setup and stuff, so apologies. I'm also running it. The interesting thing is because I'm having to run everything through the NVIDIA filters, that puts a delay on it as well. I should really put a delay on my camera, I guess. Daj will help me sort it out at some point. To try and get everything but I'm having to filter stuff so much because this laser is running, and yeah, it's horrendous. I might turn this off actually. So though you guys can't hear it, I am struggling to fucking hear it. Oh dear. Yes, so MSR, let's just quickly talk MSR. So the Carrack, MSR or Carrack news first? What do people want? Vote in chat. Waldeck TVD, hello. Carmeza TV, hello. Oh, thank you very much, Unji. So yes, Sire Bubbington, follow that link for the fan kit, and that'll get you started on your official path. MSR, Carrack, 1-1 so far. Yeah. Bad news first. There's no bad news. It's all good news. I am a bad news first person though. I like that many flames. Oh god damn it, 2-all. It's all good news. Okay, the next vote for one or the other wins it. We'll go for 3-2 best of 5. Oh, that's a very good question. I shall answer that moment. MSR, right? We're doing MSR first, so we can do MSR first. Argo cargo. So Argo, the Argo cargo has. So I was in two minds about it. So we look at the we look at the ship showdown very selfishly. So I really thought the black was going to win the ship, but from a purely selfish corporate-y point of view, I really wanted the final four to be Carrack, MSR, C2, and 600i. Because we've done the Carrack, it's nearly out. We're currently doing the MSR and the C2 Hercules by the end of the year.
I'm just happy to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
The Ryan, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you. So it would have been really nice if we'd have been like in the process of making or made 3 out of 4 of the top 4. But on the other hand, I am actually
I'm
quite
just happy
pleased.
to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
Like in that one video, thank you for the follow. What a great name. So I thought, well, if it does reach the top 4, Ben Curtis will do a new skin for it. This is the Carrack I'm talking about now. And they'll do another colour canopy, talking about the crystal canopies. So we're actually doing canopies today, literally casting some, 35 of them today. So what we've actually done is, so stick around, you can actually see it. We'll do this after these 2 updates. We've actually cast the internals of the bridge of the Carrack inside a solid resin nose of the Carrack. I have one of our test ones here. One moment. So this is a bit of a broken old Carrack, but we'll pull the bridge out. So this. Ooh, now I've got to get my. Come on, camera. That's right. I need a live camera feed. 1 second. Otherwise, I can't do it. There we go. So this is the Carrack's bridge. Still can't. My brain's broken apparently. Yeah. So that's the Carrack's bridge cast inside the nose of the Carrack to see all the railings and stuff and the pilot seats and everything, and that goes on magnets into the front of the Carrack model. I've managed to. I dropped this model once, so that was a bit annoying. But yeah, this is one of our test models. This doesn't even have all the detailing on. But yeah, so that's got this. So this is the blue tint. The actual ones we've done are slightly less blue than this. This is one of our test ones. So you can see the resin in there. Now, what I really want to do is a diorama kit, especially for the Dodge, because he flies around in the IAE 2950 skin, and basically that's yellow. It's a yellow tint. So I'm going to do that as diorama. So because the windows are tinted as well, there's window inserts so you can light it up. Lights don't come with it, but it's all hollow on the inside, so you kind of get the lights in it and all that kind of fun, cool, groovy stuff. So I'm going to do a diorama kit with the yellow glass and the yellow canopy. So it not winning another IAE, another ship showdown means that it doesn't get another coloured canopy for me to have to bloody make. So I was sort of happy it didn't make the top four just for that selfish old reason. So that's cool. But yeah, it's been really nice actually. We've sort of messed around with various stuff. So we're going to cast about 30 of them in a few minutes. So you'll see how it's all happened and how we've done it. Because this has been a huge step forward for us from a point of view of the casting. We also have, it also worth mentioning, while we're talking crystal casting, um, just rooting around on the floor. So the other thing that we have now got, I should get an old one. I don't have an old one. So the arrow canopy that we have on the arrow is now being upgraded to this, which is our sort of. If I put my hand behind it, it should focus. Come on. So this is the new crystal clear, or much clearer anyway, arrow canopy. Um, Find something with text. Really shows the difference. I wish I had another one. So you can see just how optically clear it is now. Now this isn't cast. This is, you sort of see it's still 3D printed. It's still got slight striations because, excuse the insane lighting in here. I have a lot of LED lighting. We can see how crystal clear it is. So that is the new. That's the new arrow screen that we have now. So anyone who currently has an arrow can get that as a replacement on the spare parts policy. Not quite yet. We're just printing enough to be able to do it because we're expecting a couple of hundred people to want a better screen now because our old one was just 3D printed. This is 3D printed on. This is 3D printed on a different printer with a different coating. So that is cool. But yeah, so it's getting there, and we'll get to Carrack news in a minute because we did vote MSR first. So MSR wise, this is the 1 to 500 MSR. Evening, Ewan Carr. Howdy, howdy. Now this is so this is a final print. That's a final print of a Cutlass Black, so you can sort of see all the panel lining and all that kind of stuff, all the sort of fine details on the doors and all this sort of stuff, guns and all that stuff. This is a first draft hideous test print. So this is raw, what I class as raw geometry. So things that are wrong with it. Zoom in here so we can play around with it. Oh, wrong way. Okay. So things that are wrong with this model. These are too thin. You can sort of see how sort of flexible these are. These are too thin here, so these need a little bit of a fattening up. We have print issues. Well, not print issues. That's unfair. This hasn't been broken up yet. So one of the reasons that we always break our only 30 being made of what? No, so the Carrack, there's 500. The MSR is not limited because the MSR is a diorama kit rather than a kit model. So you can see all these horrible touch point marks on the back and on the underneath, and the fact that there is no detailing on this at all. I say comparing this against the detailing level on the Cutlass, all the panel lining and all this sort of stuff. This is our first test print. So all this is the geometry of the model that is now fixed. There's no detailing, that all has still to be drawn on, and we haven't split it up into different pieces. And one of the reasons that we need to split it up is because of all this, because this has had to be printed. Why do I always go the wrong way? It's like a fucking USB cable. So this has had to be printed like that. Oh, actually, still have its supports. So that was printed in the printer like that. Okay, so that was its supports. So the problem is when you print something in one go, every surface is your hero surface. You want every bit to look amazing, but you've got to put all the supports somewhere. So I did them on the underneath of this one because there's actually very little geometry here at the moment. Throwing around, but obviously that still has wrecked the detail, and certainly the back door and these engines have been wrecked by it as well. You can kind of see in here just how horrid these touch points have messed up these engines. And we've ended up with the bits of resin pooling in the bottom and all this kind of stuff. So one thing we do know we're going to have to do for this is separate this down the middle for the centerpiece so that we can print the engines facing upwards and the nose facing upwards, just like we do with the Carrack. And then we're also going to take the wings out. So what I think we're going to do, if I could find a pen, we could actually draw on it. And this is the main reason why. Is it coloured? Black. Oh, no, that's coloured. So is the test print going to be good? Yeah, maybe. We could perhaps give away some of it. I do keep all my old test prints, just in case I ever want to do kind of an ultimate collector's thing of all the different. I'd like to do like a glass case at some point of like all the steps that I went through, because I draw on these and kind of when I'm doing test print after test print, I'll highlight my errors so that I can go through them and physically tick them off. So what I want to do, not allowed. Yeah, we'd have to get a license for it. I want to separate it under here, let this hide the breakpoint, this little flap here, come round. There's already a physical panel line that comes down this ridge here. So that's a nice natural break. Still very natural break all the way to the end. And then on the underneath, it's going to have to come around here. Now there will be panel lines here that we currently can't see, but we'll need it to line up with this breakpoint here. So it's going to have to come there. And then I've just got to hope it's going to come down this. And I've just got to hope there's a panel line that's going to let me take it sort of down there. Now, if the panel line on the bottom isn't as beautiful, just is what it is. We've got to split it. The same will be on the other side. Obviously, the MSR isn't perfectly symmetrical, so it's going to have to make its way around the scanner dish and all that kind of stuff. So we need to split the wings off. So this will principally be in 4 pieces: wings, front, forward, and aft fuselage. And then on top of that, there'll be landing gear. So obviously, the other things we haven't done on this model yet is we've got forward landing gear, rear landing gear to do, bottom turret, top turret, and the scanner dish. So there'll be a deployed and undeployed scanner dish, deployed and undeployed landing gear, and the 2 turrets. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces to this one. So it's certainly the biggest. It's certainly the biggest diorama kit we've done. 4-piece diorama, kind of blurring the lines. No, not really. I mean, how many were in the Cutlass Black? So the Cutlass Black has got body, rear bits. Obviously, this was split lengthways. It's got the 2 wing ends. It's got the 2 engines. It's got landing gear, deployed and undeployed, and a turret. So it's got a lot of parts to it. So the Cutlass Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the Cutlass Black has 14 pieces as well. There you go. So even our dioramas have a lot of pieces in them. It's just that the MSR is just a bit bigger. So yeah. At the end of the day, it's a kit mod. You're still going to be able to put it together. Otherwise, it's just a model. So the MSR's got a fair amount of work still to go on it. It looks more finished than it is. I know a lot of people would be, kind of happy with this as a result of a 3D print. We are certainly not. There's a lot that needs to get done on this to make it good. Yeah, the size is quite nice. It's sort of mouse size, we've decided. We're going to have to do like an MSR mouse. I'd say the 1 to 500s do bring up this love. I do like the 1 to 500 as a scale. So if we come back out, apologies that the Cutlass Black is it's too wide now. There we go. Like we said, the MSR is about the same size as the Carrack's arse, but the other way around. So just to kind of prove that's what we were talking about by it's about the same size as the back of the Carrack. So I love the way that the 1 to 500 scale means that you can have all these ships, and have them all on a shelf together, but all to scale is really, really nice. Back in the day, there was some merchandise for Wing Commander action figures, 2 unreleased spaceships. Wondering if you're going to do some Squadron 42 models. I would love to do like obviously what's the difference between a Squadron 42 model and a Star Citizen model? But that's a question in itself. I would love to do some of the ships like the Idris, like the F8 Lightning, like the Gladius, like maybe even the F7C and things like that in basically in Squadron 42 branded packaging, and Squadron 42 branded instruction booklets and decals and all that kind of stuff. It's still the same kit model, it's just a branding thing, but I would really, really like to do that. It would require, it wouldn't require CIG to finish it exactly. So if we did a Gladius or pick another squadron ship, insert here, there's nothing stopping us doing that in Squadron 42 branded packaging. The only thing that stops us is them saying no, which is a probability, let's be honest. What I don't want to do is then launch a Squadron 42 version of it later, but it's still the same, it's still the same thing. Yeah. It does look like a Mad Catz rat mouse, actually. You're very, very true. It's a meme already. I'm fascinated. Oh, yes. That is very true. So that's where we are with the MSR. So things to do. Now I've got this model. This print is one of the most important prints I do. The first thing I do when I'm doing any model is do what I call a first fix, which is what this is, and then print it. The actual size the model is going to be, and then I can work out what the fuck I'm going to do with it, how I'm going to split it up, what bits needs fixing, what bits don't, so I'm not guessing. So that is that's sort of stage one of getting this ready. And because it's a diorama, it's not going to be too slow to get this finished. The other thing is working out what material to print it in, because obviously I've done this in grey. Because I had it in the printer, but it's whether I do it out of this stuff, which is Tough 2000, or this stuff, which is model resin, or a combination of the two. So it may be a combination. So it may be very much like the Carrack fuselage in model, turrets and landing gear and stuff in Tough, or it might be like the other dioramas we've done, everything in Tough. I don't know yet. TBC. Right, so that's where we are with the MSR. It's coming on very nicely. I'm trying to rattle this out. One of the issues I've got is because we're getting the workshop sorted. I want to try and rattle some models out before I get neck deep in the new workshop at the end of the year. Because realistically, I want to spend November and December in my new workshop, getting some big things built, and I won't have a huge amount of time for models. So I want to try and get a few banked from the bits that I need to do for them and pass them on to other members of the team. Speaking of other members of the team, let's go to a Carrack update. We'll leave the Carrack. It's a really old model of the Carrack as well. So I'm going to zoom back up the chat to see if there's any other Carrack comments other than just Gib. I've been waiting for a Carrack by you all. Yes, yeah, we've the Carrack it's on sale now. It is not on sale now, but a very, very exciting. CIG have now signed off the artwork. We have full artwork sign off for the Carrack. It's box art. It's instructions. Yes, well, it is there. So The artwork has been sent to the printers. Unfortunately, we didn't get the sign off because it comes from LA till very late on Friday, so 10 o'clock at night for our time on Friday. So though it's been sent to the printers, obviously they weren't at work. So Monday morning we will get a time scale. It's usually about 10 working days, something like that, which does collide us a little bit with CitizenCon. So I think our sort of rough idea is the weekend, the Sunday after CitizenCon. We're away CitizenCon weekend. We're going down to EGX in London, and then I'm going round to a good friend's house and JRDF stalwart team member to watch CitizenCon down in London, because we're down in London. So we're going to be watching CitizenCon live down there, having a lot of beer. So don't really want to launch it on CitizenCon weekend because the focus certainly won't be on us. But so probably we'll be looking at the Sunday after, which gives us a little bit of time sort of post CitizenCon to get that sort of week. Hopefully CIG will give us a bit of marketing support, because that's the thing, we won't get any marketing support pre-CitizenCon. Let's be honest, never going to happen. So we're sort of better place to do it the week after. So provided that our printers... yeah, well, but I mean, we did launch the Dragonfly kit model at CitizenCon 2019. A lot of people forget that, but yes, that was when it was first announced, seen. Here it is in the flesh. You know, that's where we launched that kit. So we always want to launch a kit at a CitizenCon, but doing it digitally and remotely isn't the same as launching one at the event, because what we wanted to do at the event was give the people at the event, the first chance of buying them. It was sort of like the idea there. But yeah, so we are, provided that our printers aren't backlogged with other stuff or have issues or whatever. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be launched the weekend after CitizenCon, which would be on the Sunday. What would the date be? We'd be talking the 17th of October launch date. That's not confirmed yet. We will put the countdown up when we've heard back, but let's just assume that is now the target. There is nothing in the way of its launch other than the physical artwork being printed, because everything else is signed off. Thank you very much for the congratulations, fan. It has been a long road, as it always is, but we finally got those last bits in place. So manufacturing wise, we're on track. I say we're going to be doing some canopies in a few minutes, because that is something we don't have enough of yet. We don't have enough fuselages yet. They are printing at the moment, but other than the two fuselage parts, we've got 65 of the rear and only about 32 of the forward at the moment. But they're the only parts other than the canopies that are still left to be manufactured. Everything else is done for the first 100. So there's 500 in total. We're putting 100 on the shelf to start with. That is the plan. So all good. So that's where we are with that. But the only other updates I have for the Carrack are these. So we talked about other great team members. We obviously have a set of Carrack at one of our painters. So Lupercal, who you will have heard of on this channel plenty of times. He was the winner of our first JRDF painting contest, which we will be doing another one, by the way. I think currently it's probably heading to being a yearly thing. But yeah, not any idea of dates yet. Yeah, 99 on the shelf. Send me one straight out. Nice try. So Lupercal has got a couple of Carracks down there. So he's painting one in coloured and one in the metallic wash. And the metallic wash is the same paint scheme he did the dioramas in, so I can sit all the metallic wash ships together. So this is it in in process of being painted in metallic wash. This is him building another one. This is the painted one. So this is it getting some base coats. So I panicked, being the fucking idiot that I am, that this massive panel gap he hasn't glued it together yet. So he went, I'm glued it together yet. It's still two pieces. I just put it together for the photo. It's like, okay, I'll shut up. A backseat painting now. Thank you. I'm shutting up now. So, got told off. And yeah, so this is how she's coming on. Doesn't she look lovely? So this is quite a nice thing to be able to show off, actually. So we had to move the panel lines a little bit on the Carrack. The There's obviously these beautiful red stripes that get fatter and thinner as they go down the whole of the ship, and that's very much an Anvil thing of having this line that isn't just a single width line. Now the problem is when the line gets to its thinnest point, it is on a model this size about 1/4 millimeter wide, which obviously is not wide enough. So we expanded it out to just under 1 millimeter, which is what you're seeing in the thin parts of this line. But that meant that because we'd expanded the thin bits out, we also expanded out the fatter bits. But even though they were already just about 1 millimeter, it would all be just one size of line. So we played around with where those panel lines went so that we could get that very defined anvil stripe getting bigger and smaller as it goes down the fuselage, as it should do. It's just all scaled up just ever so slightly I'd say ever so slightly. It's about twice the size it should be. But again, when you're doing it on a model, it looks right. It would look wrong if it wasn't there. And certainly for a thing like, the anvil stripes, it has to be done. Now, interestingly, on the ship, and I don't know whether this is something that will pick up in Gold Pass or not, I'm not sure. There are two types of stripes on the Carrack. There is actual paint stripes and there's decal stripes. Now, it's interesting because when you put the IAE skin onto the Carrack, the red decal lines stay red, but the other lines go yellow. Now, I think that is just because that's an error, effectively. I've done none of these lines as water slide decals. They're all to be painted, and there is a physical panel line on the model that signifies every break in the paint. So there's never a line that has a paint break that doesn't have a panel line. So painting this thing to match in game should be made easier by the fact that you actually have physical panel lines to go on. That's one of the big things that we always try to get into our models, to make sure that it's easy enough to get the really nice paint layout that you have in game. And it also means that if you want to do your own paint schemes, the people will correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think there's only 3 to 4 paints on a ship. You sort of got primary, secondary, and sort of highlights. So I think on the Carrack it's only 3. So you've kind of got this dark grey, light grey, and the red stripe, and then the rest is decals. So if you want to do a in-game, or you want to do your own personal skin, but keep it in sort of like the spirit of the in-game ship, it should be quite easy. You could do that as a blue line with black and red, or whatever you want to do, and still keep in with the way that Star Citizen paints the ships, if that's the way you want it to go. So hopefully this will be really easy for people to get painted up. And yeah, really pleased with it. I'm always really nervous when we send our models to the painters for the first time, because it's the first time it's been built by anyone but me, and I've built it so many times by that point, like probably just, I don't know, I've probably put these chips together by the time it gets to a painter maybe 20 times, because it's been printed that many times to get it right. So I know how it goes together without thinking about it. And then you're just giving this massive box of bits to someone and go, hey, here you go. Put this ship together, and it's not, obviously they have the instructions as well, but it's that really nice sort of thing of, oh good, it went together fine, it looks like it's supposed to look, all that kind of shit. Yeah, exactly. Everything is subject to change, and we are not going to go back. We get asked this quite a bit. We are not going to go back and make corrections on these models. Period. There's different things we can do to update models going forward. So Carrack's a great example of this. There is the armored bridge, and there's also the things that we might be able to get different cargo pods or different things to put on in the cargo pod space underneath. Both of those things, the cargo pods and the canopy, connect to this model via magnets. So if that is the case, then we will just do those new bits as a diorama pack to be bought separately, and then they can just be interchanged on the magnets. Doesn't matter, all sorted, lovely jubbly. We're not going to go back and change the Carrack itself. The other option we would have, if it was, say, only the canopy, if it was just the armored canopy, we might go, you know what, fuck it, we'll just put that as a free spare part. So you guys can just get it as a free spare part if you already have a Carrack. So we have options, but we're never going to change the kit, because they change something in game. It's just the other thing we do to make sure that this isn't a problem, or hopefully isn't a problem, is that we are in close contact with the ship team, Ben Curtis and JC and those guys. Every time we're thinking about putting a license in for a ship, we talk to them about it first, and they let us know if there's any big changes coming to it. They don't tell us what those changes are. But I mean, there's been a couple of ships this year that we've said, oh, we might do this, and they've gone, no, because that's due for big rework, and don't touch it for now, we'll tell you when it's happening. And now that may well be something that doesn't actually affect us. If they were going to redo the internal layout of a ship, or but even something like moving a turret or putting a docking collar in, that affects the external of the model. So we'd want to wait for that to happen. So, there are ships that are going to have those sorts of changes, not fundamental changes, but they matter enough to us because it's going to change the docking port or something like that. So we're not tackling ships that we know that's happening to. But we have that, at least that internal information to avoid that. Cool. Right. So let's do some casting. I did not see any audio there. Could you hear me talking? That is very bizarre. One moment. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay, can you hear me now? There we go. Excellent. Yeah, I'd obviously unplugged that microphone and defaulted to something else. Apologies for that. Right, that can go up there. Get a bit of a clear space here. This camera can get moved a little bit so you can all see the mess. So all of this is Carrack foam production. So grab this and do a bit of a close-up run. So we have 30mm Carrack foam pieces in here. They've just got the top details on. They're ready for cutting. These are ones that have been cut and are just waiting to have all the little bits pushed out of them. And this is all waste. This is all waste. The boxes over here are full of 25mm. They've all got the 25mm pieces in. So, yeah, many things. Many bits. Oh, giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. What are we giving away? Right. So we're giving away another one of these. So we have a CitizenCon 2949 brochure, one of the little men, a CitizenCon 2948 lanyard, Give Me Some Space card decal. You obviously can't see from that side. A pack of Star Citizen playing cards, a Star Citizen decal that someone put on their PC case and looks absolutely awesome. We have a Star Citizen pen. We have a Star Citizen pin badge. I'm
just happy to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
Elva, thank you for the follow. No, it's not a temp tattoo. It's not. So the way you can tell, the temp tattoos are printed backwards and are white on the back. These came in the same pack as the playing cards back in, this is a 2015, 2016 thing. I only have one tattoo. And it's in the other bag of things that we'll give away next week. And oh yeah, and a Kraken pin badge. Now you might be wondering, haven't you already given this away? And yes, we have, because I actually have, or had, because I've given 2 away now, 5 sets of this stuff. This is all sort of event detritus we've picked up. That was you. Yes, it was you. I love that on your PC case. It was absolutely brilliant. Yes, so it's so all of this is the CitizenCon event detritus that we had picked up. Like these brochures, we ended up with like 30 of them because someone had filled one of our crates with them to tidy them up, and we took the crate home and opened it and went, "That's a fucking hell," because people had just shoved these things into them. But you know that happens at events all the time, so that's cool. So let's start that giveaway. So let me just come up to my thing here, stream. So people who are already subscribed before they do exclamation raffle or whatever it is, they get 10 tickets. If you're just a follower, you get 1 ticket. If you are a follower and enter the raffle and then subscribe, you don't get any. There's no way of getting any more tickets. So that's a warning to start with. So 10 tickets for subs, 1 ticket for followers, and it is that one. Go, go, go. Looks cool, 3D print chip. Thank you very much. This one is our latest product. So this one, don't tell him when it ruins my chances. So this is the Carrack. This will be going on sale in a few weeks' time. It's been a long old road to get this kit model off the ground. Hey ho, we are there now. We are there. So yes, so that's what we're giving away today. So yeah, I just went through all the merch we had and worked out what I had 5 of, or what I had multiple of, and how many I had. And yeah, this interesting selection of stuff is stuff that I had 5 of. That's why I thought it would be a cool selection of giveaways. I discovered many things when clearing up before moving to this workshop, so it's hilarious. Right, okay, we're going to cast some things. What do we need? We need principally our molds. So here are our molds. Now, what I did, so arguably what you should normally do is mix too much resin, like mix more resin than you think you need. And, you know, so you definitely get it cast. But in this case, because we're making so many of it, I don't want to waste the resin. I actually did about what I worked out to be the right amount, knowing that I'd be a little bit short because it would stick to the inside of the cup. So 3 didn't get done, but that's fine. So we've got 32, but I didn't waste any resin, which I think is more important because it's quite expensive stuff. Now, what we do need to do is do a load of these. So that's our first one. So let me go and get some. I'm going to need a cup of water. Which I don't have. One moment. I only have beer. All 3 keys. Hello, hello. I'm late. What just happened? Right. So first thing we need to do is prepare our insides. So these are, go onto this camera here. This is the bridge section with the little seats and the railings and stuff, and that's what we're going to cast inside these. But first of all, we need to do is take them out of the scaffolding. So if we do this camera. So I need to do 32 of these. This is going to take me a wee while. So let me Let me move my monitor down here so that I can see chat. And yeah, fire questions at me so I can carry on talking and it doesn't just become a silent stream. There can be, it's an AMA. You can ask me absolutely anything. If I don't want to answer it, I won't. So, yeah, it can be about our models, about what's coming up, what's not coming up, the new workshop, what projects we're doing. Yeah, I say I will answer as many as possible. When I first started doing these, I didn't bother cutting the little supports that were underneath these seats. But then when I did that lot, I broke like 3 of them. I was like, yeah, I better do this just to save those, just any wastage. Yes, I did see the live action Cowboy Bebop opening. It was very good. Yeah, I see what you mean about the sort of potential for merch on that. Right, I'm going to put those here. We'll do them in sets of 10, and then we'll give them a send. So this is tough resin. So these are much harder to get off the scaffolding. I also ended up having to put quite big supports on these because I printed a lot on a platform. But I kind of thought it doesn't really matter because it's me that's doing it. So rather they survived. This is the thing. These seats and things are more fragile than we would put in a kit. But because we're about to cast them inside a solid block of resin, it doesn't really matter. So, because if I break them, it doesn't matter. Because obviously they just go in the bin and don't get put in the kit. So originally I did actually do the hollow globe for these. I did a tiny little clear print that went inside on the hollow globe. But interestingly, because of the refraction of the way that the sort of the shape of the nose goes, you can't see it. You just can't. I like cast it in a couple. It didn't melt or anything. You just couldn't see it. The other thing that may happen, of course, is because it was clear, or even it was like frosty when the resin went onto it. It probably made the surface of it perfectly clear and transparent, so you don't see it because you're effectively casting a transparent thing in a transparent resin. But yeah. So much work for just one man. It is the 600i in the pipeline. So, not currently in the pipeline. It's certainly, so interestingly, this thing that we're doing right now has a huge impact on the 600i. Because before we had this kind of casting thing down pat, and just to kind of show you how we did it, this box. So what we did was printed our masters, our Carrack bridge masters, to create these molds. And then we're casting these bits inside them and putting a tint on it. Now, that has allowed us to do these parts that are effectively encapsulated bits of inside bridges and all this sort of stuff. And it's a much more robust way of doing the glass portions of a ship, because the only other option would be to have a really, really thin shell canopy, and it's just so hard to cast, so hard to print, really, really hard. So we've always kind of avoided origin ships because we didn't have this technology sorted out. So now we've got it. Now we've done this with the Carrack as a very good proof of concept, of what we can do. It opens up as being able to start to do chips like the 600R, the 890. 890's got a few other issues because how big it is. But it's, the 600 is definitely now back on the list because it's same with the 300 series and the 1-to-100 and the 100 series. It allows us to actually do the glass canopies. Origin ships are always annoying because of the glass. So yes, we will. So what sort of scalpel is that? first one I picked up. This is just a kind of a cheap little disposable scalpel. I usually use, there's no blade on it. I usually use just a normal scalpel. These sorts of scalpels, but for whatever reason, I don't have a blade up here, like a new blade, because I snapped this one this morning. These are the best. The blades are cheap as chips, and they just keep replacing them. But yeah, this is just a sort of a craft X-Acto knife type thing. The thing with knives is a sharp one, and that sounds daft, but it's like you want something that you can really easily replace the blade on, which is why this isn't a great one, because you can't. You want something you can replace the blades on, and they just keep putting a new blade on it. I've been using this because I haven't been asked to go downstairs and get a new one. Country, the Bobby live. I am an adult. Do you also make space stations in 3D? We've not done a station yet. Someone was asking. Sorry, I completely missed the question earlier about interiors to the MSR. I spotted it and then entirely missed it. Could someone ask that question again, because I don't have a mouse here? If not, I'll go jump to the other rig and find it. But yeah, someone asked a specific question about the interiors of the MSR. If someone could find that for me. It's... do we make space stations? We could do. We have the ability to put anything to rebuild anything from inside Star Citizen. The biggest issue I'd have with a space station is what scale to do it in. So we try and stick to as fewer scales as possible, so people can collect ships and stuff in all the same scale. We've succeeded to a certain degree with that, in that we have currently 4 scales: 1 to 40 for ground vehicles, 1 to 100 for fighters, 1 to 500 for capital ships, sub-capital, and then all the dioramas of all the other ships. And 1 to 200 basically for everything else that doesn't fit in any of those others. If we did a space station, we certainly couldn't do it in 1 to 500 because they're absolutely gigantic. But as Mini Flame says, Port Olisar model would be amazing. It really, really would. And it's like, I guess as a cool little desk toy type thing, as a one-off, that might be quite cool. But no real plans of doing space station. I'd quite like to do kind of like a landing pad or something. Unfortunately, I think they'd probably fall into the category of something we'd never make our money back on. We only currently have one ship, the Arrow, that has broken even so far from like our investment in creating it as a commercial product. The others are slowly getting there, but with only one that's broken even, we need to be really careful about what we sort of go after at this point. So there was a question about MSR interiors, about kind of how we done the interiors for the MSR, and how do we kind of put interiors in, because they aren't in the model. Now, it's yes. If you get the MSR, so this is the thing. Aha! Thank you very much. So all the models, we don't get models from CIG. We take them out of the game engine, out of the sort of current patch, just because we try to do as little as possible to take up CIG's time, for 2 reasons. One, we don't want to waste their time on stuff that we can do ourselves. And the other thing is that it's quicker to do it ourselves, because to actually request something from a company the size of CIG, we can't just ask. I can't just go and ask. I could go and ask Ben Curtis for files, but that's not his job. he's ship director, like shipbuilding director. It's not his job to find me files. Do you know what I mean? So there's procedures you have to go through and put requests in, and realistically, it's a big company. It could take a week to get it, and then it might not be right. It might not be what you wanted. So we've just learned to do it ourselves. So we unpack the data pack file. You can sort of download there's ways of doing it. We have an amazing tech team that make this a lot better and easier for us. But effectively what we do is we get all the components, all those models are in there. So the way the game does it, the game has a ship and then it finds all the components and the interiors and the weapons and everything and puts it all back together. So it's just a case of finding all the pieces and physically putting them back together yourself. So that's what we have to do. We've done ships with interiors, like the freelancer models have the rear cargo bays modeled out and the cockpits and stuff. Yes, so we're literally just answering it now because I realized that someone asked this question and I completely forgot to answer it. So we don't get it given to us by CIG. Basically, sorry. I completely missed it. I did miss it. I clocked it and then got distracted. I'm a very distractible person. All the files are there. So we unpack the data pack file from each patch. We just work off the live patch. All the models are in there. All the components and internal bits and parts of the ships are there. But you basically have to do what the game does and find all the pieces and rebuild them back together. And it's that. Yeah, it takes a while. We did the freelancer models, we did its interiors. On the Carrack, we did its garage interior, its cargo bay interiors, its bridge. But it's literally just a case of going and finding those files. They're all relatively named sensibly. So when you unpack the data pack file, and there are you can download, if you Google it, you can download unpackers for the Star Citizen data pack. And then it's just a case of finding all the bits and putting it back together. We have an amazing little tech team that have put together a few tools to try and automate this. But Star Citizen's such a complicated game. They do absolute miracles. Save me a lot of time and stuff. But yeah, we are given nothing by CIG other than permission to do this. And that's not to say that they couldn't do it if we asked. I just don't like asking because you should always save if you need help from people. You should always make sure you definitely need their help. You shouldn't go and ask them for help all the time because they'll get sick of you very quickly. So do everything you can by yourself. Don't be afraid to ask. But save up those favors. Save up those favors. The other thing is, especially like this time of year when they're stupid busy with stuff, with CitizenCon and then IAE, you could be waiting a month, for it to make its way through the system and come back to you and all the rest of it. And I don't have that kind of time. So we've learned long ago to work out how to get it ourselves.
But it all adds up, doesn't it, JR? The arguing, the craziness, the fact that you're a massive dickhead.
Leonard Rain, you absolute legend. Thank you so much. And thank you for triggering one of the greatest answer. Thank you so much, Leonard Rain. You are, as always, an absolute behemoth of a star to this channel. And your support is, as always, hugely, hugely welcome and very, very graciously received. Leonard has done some absolutely outstanding German and English reviews of our products as well. Feel free to link them in your videos as well on your channel, because I only understand a few of them because only a few of them are in English, purely for my benefit. Because I was just going, well, I hope you were saying nice things about us. But yes, you've done some amazing unboxing videos and stuff for us. But thank you immensely for that tip. You are an absolute legend. absolute legend. And we are now a lot closer to getting decent audio for this for this stream. And the audios, the Rode mics, which are up there, will be quite important to us going forward if we want to start streaming from the new shop, because at the end of the day, we're going to have Darji is going to be coming over at some point, hopefully end of this year, to do some other bits and pieces. But one of the things I really want his help with is working out what our tech setup needs to be for for being able to stream from this new workshop. Because at the end of the day, I really do want to do some streams from this workshop, but from things like an audio point of view, we're going to have proper lapel mics, which is what these Rode Go-To wirelesses are. Because it's a huge place, and we're going to be running around it, and we can't need to have that kind of audio. Hello, Lappin' Jack. Sorry, I missed you there. How are you, good sir? How are you? Welcome to me cutting little things out for an hour. I forget how long these fucking take. Apologies, should have done them beforehand. But yeah, so yes, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Oh, thought I'd broken that one there. Oh, after all that, we're broken. So yes. So for anyone who has joined since I started doing this, we are taking this is the first time that we've done a kit model where there's a bit that I actually need to take off scaffolding, because we're going to cast these inside the Carrack's bridge nose. So yes, so hopefully Sunday the 17th will be Carrack launch day, and we'll be doing a massive stream, and there'll be a few surprises, hopefully 2 massive surprises. We desperately want to be able to announce it all together because we think that would be just absolutely amazing. And these will be surprises that will affect you on the day of things that you can purchase. So very exciting. There's one that's definitely coming. So there's at least one massive surprise, but there hopefully is an even bigger one that we can announce at the same time, which will be absolutely amazing. So excited. This has been months and months in the workings, and has finally come to pass. So that's really cool. And we'll obviously be running around talking about Carracks. We'll have the painted Carracks. We'll have, it'll be amazing. I'm really looking forward to the metal wash version of it. It's going to look absolutely amazing. So that's all good. And yeah, I did say at the beginning of the show that I'd speak about it in a few minutes' time, and it's been a lot longer than that. But the JRDF crew have been doing a bit of crazy talk, playing some Star Citizen. I know, who'd have fucking thought it? We've now whether this is a short-term thing because this patch is so fucking stable, it's actually a joy to play Star Citizen at the moment. I don't know. Hopefully, when 3.15 drops, it's not going to be an absolute bag of spanners and ruin all our fun. But yeah, we've been doing loads of Hammerhead, lots of Hammerhead stuff, because both myself and Engineer are massive Hammerhead fans, and we both have our particular named Hammerheads, and we've been taking them out on a lot of sorties, but actually having them fully fucking manned Hammerheads are just the best. So we've been doing a few of those, and what I was thinking about was, because we're going down to 1 stream a week for the foreseeable, mainly until we get the kind of audio setup at the workshop, because realistically I'm going to be at the workshop during the week. So workshop Wednesdays will actually be in a workshop eventually, and we'll get them back. But for the time being, I'm just going to be streaming on Sundays. But we thought it'd be quite nice to do a little bit of post-stream Star Citizen. Oh, I did break that one. Bastard. Do a little bit of post-stream Star Citizening, and obviously everyone who wants to come and join us and jumps in, which should be quite fun. Please tell me you named it MC Hammer. No, I have not named my Hammerhead MC Hammer. My Hammerhead is HMS Thunderchild from War of the Worlds. So for anyone who has not read the original War of the Worlds, there is a British ironclad torpedo boat called HMS Thunderchild, and it is the only thing in the original H.G. Wells War of the Worlds that takes out 2 tripods. It successfully destroys 2 of the Martian tripods, so it's kind of like the biggest hitter in War of the Worlds. And I desperately wanted to call my hammerhead that, so that's what it is. So subsequently, I've had to work out what HMS means. Yes. I desperately wanted it to be HMS Thunderchild. So I've made an org, which is hauling, mining, and salvage services, because unfortunately I couldn't actually get the org moniker HMS. I had to get HMSS. So it's hauling, mining, and salvage services. And it's obviously one of the escort corvettes for that organization. Spoilers! Carrack and Citron are the only ships I can name. Yeah, I don't know which ones are nameable. Yeah, the Hammerhead's the only one I can name out of. Oh, the answer, yeah, I don't have an MSR. Yeah, I've only got a Hammerhead that's on the list of nameable ships. Yes, you did, Laughing Jeff, and I watched the stream. You had Unji there as well. But yeah, no, it's the Hammerhead's amazing, and I said the game's just so good. I'm not sure about orgs to say they do everything. Well, we're not everything, not bounty hunters, not it's at the end of the day, all the stuff I'm interested in is the industry things. So I love mining. I think I'm going to really enjoy salvage, and I'm principally a hauler. My big ship is the Hull E, so I'm principally a hauler. And then you need a few escort ships and stuff for protection, but that's really all my sort of org is going to be focused on, the industrial side. There'll be refueling and things within that as well, just to keep the fleet going. But I think having I do think all 3 of those things, hauling, mining, and salvaging, are all effectively the same. You know, they're all part and parcel. They all intertwine very much. You can't mine without hauling the stuff around. You know, Hammerhead, MSR, Carrack, 600 Reclaimer, Corsair. Oh, of course, that was random. 890. Yes, I have seen the 890s being. Yes, because we saw an 890 coming out of Everest Harbour, and it had the best name ever, and I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, it was an absolutely cracking name. Oh yeah, so there's a few. There is a few that you can name. I'm looking forward to them all being named. I'm obviously going to name all of mine, but yeah, the Hammerhead was the only one that I really needed to get a particular name. I've got no idea what I'm going to name my Hull E, even though it's my main ship. Yeah, I've not really thought about what I'm going to name it yet.
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Thank you very much, Laughing Jack, for the sub. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Can't wait for names. Yeah. Carrack has a great name, actually. I've not seen many terrible names. You know, I've not seen anyone oh, that was an awful name. But yeah, there's some been. I think people have been. I need to show in people's faces. Go ahead, you shove away. But yeah, so I thought, it'd be nice to do a bit of JRDF, actual Star Citizen type stuff post stream. I say post stream, post this kind of maker stream, carry on streaming, but do some far more casual. I'm really not sure how you get any more fucking casual than this, if I'm honest. But yeah, just casual streaming. Anyone can jump in. That's 20, nearly there. And yeah, just bum around in the verse. Because yeah, I mean, just the turret gameplay is just immense. One thing we did discover, and I did jump in game today just to claim my Hammerhead and then jump back out. we couldn't refuel or rearm it or repair it. Now, I don't know whether that's it's just a perennial glitch of not being able to refuel, rearm, and repair, or whether it's something you can't do at docking ports, because we always were landing at a docking port rather than like Port Olisar going down to a planet, and it just wouldn't let us do it. So I don't know. Someone in chat may know if that is just a docking port issue, or so if we'd gone and landed at Port Olisar or something, we would have been able to repair. But yeah, we got our ass handed to us a little bit by a hammerhead at one point. We won in the end, but we did take a fair amount of damage, and we just couldn't repair ourselves. Is it the N1S? That would be a great name for a ship. Especially the Hull Sea. Which is looking exceedingly phallic in its folded state. I imagine all of the whole series will. I love the whole series. I don't think I'm ever going to fold it up other than to land it. Application sense. Yeah, and I hope we don't need to land our whole ships, really. I just want to dock them to places and leave them. But I think we're a way off persistence. Yes, that's true. The play session we did last weekend, we'd gone out on a hammerhead, done some damage in this hammerhead, was absolutely brilliant with some of us had to jump off, so we only had like 5 of us left, so we couldn't man all of the hammerhead turrets. So we'll take Daj's Carrack out, do a bit of damage in that. Oh my god, that thing is soft as butter compared to a hammerhead. So we went up against the hammerhead, and it absolutely handed it to us. We literally fleed. We just fleed. That's quite cool. Just don't see too much. Yeah, that is. We were sort of thinking about that actually, about kind of making sure you don't all get the same ships and trying to work out, right, okay, we should actually plan what our what we want in the fleet, because I've definitely decided I'm going to find myself a new ship at the IAE this year. I don't know what I want to get. I might get a Vulture because I do want to do I do want to have an option for the sort of more solo play, grindy type money making stuff. And this resin's tough. Funny, isn't it? But yeah, I would really like to. I do like the Vulture. Is that the only Drake ship I actually want? Yeah, it's a good. It's like I'm a huge Mist fan, and I do enjoy mining. But interestingly, I'm not a big fan of the Prospector. I know that sounds bizarre. I should love the Prospector. But I think mining is very much a group activity. I love the mole for mining. I don't have one. Drew has one. But I love mining in the mole. And I more see me as part of a mining loop, being the cargo running anyway, getting the pods and taking them away. So the Prospector didn't really appeal. But I don't know why the Vulture really does. Drake for life. Drake and Origin are ships that I'm very happier in the game, but I don't really want to own them, with the exception of the Vulture. And I was sort of stuck between the Vulture and the Vulcan as a kind of solo play, that sort of ship. But the Vulcan's a little bit of I'm not really that interested in the repair mechanic of what I've seen of it so far. So the kind of the sort of Vulcan Crucible type ship, that doesn't really appeal. And I say the mining bit is cool, but I'd prefer to have, I'd prefer to have the sort of the hauling side of the mining, if that makes sense. Collecting all the pods from the different ships and taking them, get them processed. Or I might quite like to get the mobile refinery, because we're discussing that. What's the point of the mobile refinery? Quantanium is the point, so you can actually process it on site. Oh, and Orion. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. That's the other thing. I was always I'm a bit of a hermit, as most people claim to be, but I am really enjoying the last couple of first play sessions are really done with like big crews. Really loving the crewing on a big ship. Absolutely, yes, for guild knights, and I really love flying big ships. I'm trying to become a good big ship pilot. Because obviously I have hull E, so it'd be good if I didn't fuck that up all the time. I really enjoy piloting, the big ships, because it's not. I mean, certainly with the Hammerhead, you're not really trying to dogfight. You're just trying to avoid asteroids and get your shields pointed in the right direction and make sure your gunners are on target and all that kind of stuff. You're not sort of. Yeah, you're not dog fighting. I'm really not good at that. But that kind of big movement of that's interesting. Does it have the same number of shields? Does the Hammerhead have 2 and the Carrack only have 1 or something, Daft? Yeah, I mean the Hammerhead's got an immense hull on it. I mean, to be fair, we Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep it steady. If you're up against like another Hammerhead, you've got to make sure that you're sort of moving your shields around and keep. And interestingly, when you at the moment with the missions, it's mainly a case of keeping your crew happy. You're more like the sort of concierge of the ship, and make sure that you come at targets from different sides because. The Hammerhead, you can't, and I think it's deliberate so it isn't too OP. It's very difficult to get 5 of the turrets onto one target because the side turrets can't really face can't actually face forward. So you're either one side or the other. So I'm looking forward to doing. I didn't do any of Xeno Threat, but from what I've heard, I think I would absolutely love it because at least you can get into the middle of a pack of fighters and all the turrets are seeing something. And oh man, that Hammerhead can put some pain out. Jeez. Why fall out, JR? Why? What did I say? What did I say, Gundert? Are you not are you a Drake fan? Or an Origin fan? I love the fact that in the game, I love the fact that Drake and stuff are in the game. I absolutely love it. And on Origin and I love all the ship manufacturers. I just wouldn't have the ships from them. Isn't the point of the Hammer to take out fighters? Yes, it is. It is intended for fighters, indeed. I think it should be able to take itself out. I think Hammerhead v Hammerhead's a bit of a brawling match, very much down to the skills. Yeah, I think, yes, definitely the Perseus and the Polaris are the big killers. Perseus with its guns, Polaris with its torpedoes. They're the ones for taking. Yeah, the Hammerhead is definitely for fighters, which is why I like it, because I'm realistically going to be using my Hammerhead as an escort ship for my hauling, and it makes a good anti-pirate defense when you're sort of like protecting your mining ships and things. Yeah, if something big comes along, you're running. If it's fighters, the Hammerhead can mop them up. I am slightly concerned about the Ares ships coming into game at the end of the year and causing the Hammerhead a little bit more issue because they're effectively designed to take out the Hammerhead. So that's a little worrying. So that's 30. Just check I've not broken any more seats. No, right, 2 more. So the Ares worries me a bit. I think it's just I'll be interested. The thing that's worrying me most about the Ares, interestingly, is what their range is going to be. Because if their range outstrips the Hammerhead, then we're in trouble. Because yes, it's not going to be a stupid maneuverable fighter, but it's going to be able to strafe and keep just outside the Hammerhead's range and deal it out some pain if it's got a longer range than the Hammerhead. I mean, I suppose the Hammerhead's got a lot of missiles. It's got, what, 32 missiles on it? So it's just going to have to missile spam Ares ships. But yeah, it's a little concerning. I'll be honest, it's a little concerning. Drake are my first love. And that's cool. Misk are mine. And yeah, and the thing is, I completely understand why lots of people don't like Misk ships as well. And it's probably like the same with you and Drake ships. A lot of their flaws are actually what you like about them. I love the fact that Misk goes, it doesn't have a ship that has an okay sort of field of view. It either has the best field of view in the game because it has a bubble canopy, or it has a letterbox and nothing in between. And it's just, I love that. I don't know why. It's just, I can't wait for my Hull E to have the most ludicrous letterbox of a front screen. Although, to be fair, even if it looks in proportion, be interesting. If it looks in proportion, it'll actually be a massive front window in a Hull E. But yeah, it's just, I love the fact that it's one or the other, and you're not allowed anything in between. It's amazing or shit. There you're up. Really liking the Hull A. Oh my god. Unbranded, yeah. I'm. That's the other thing I'm looking forward to as well. Gundams is the sort of like shipjacker ships that we saw at CitizenCon 2019, where they have like, torn loads of ships apart and put them together and all that kind of stuff. I think they look absolutely amazing. Can't wait for that kind of shit to go on. What are your thoughts on Robert Strutt's industry ships? That's brilliant. Interestingly, I've not done one yet. I'm not a fan of the Connies. I don't like the Connies as ships. Right. Okay. I'm just going to move my microphone to there. Hopefully that's it. I will sort of move around here a little bit because I'm going to be rubbing on the table vigorously, which so the mic is now not standing on the actual table. So hopefully this will not be horrendous. This could do me around the other side of me, so that you can see what's going on. Sort of. So we're just doing a bit of wet sanding. So obviously on the back, we've left all these little touch points. Now the touch points are a lot bigger, or you can get a lot left over from the tough resin. And, that's one of the reasons why we use tough resin when we need to for these fragile parts. But it's also why we don't use it when we don't want it. So, we want to try and use model where we can, and then use tuck when we need. What grammage sandpaper? So this is 600 grit. This piece is what you get in all of our kits. It's an ideal wet dry sandpaper. If you use it wet, you'll only need this piece for the kit. If you use it dry, it probably won't be enough. If you use it wet, it lasts a hell of a lot longer. So that's cool. What we will have to do is probably air blast these to get them dry before we cast with them. They don't take a huge amount of sanding these, so especially if you're wet sanding. Okay. I could put them on a bit of tissue paper, couldn't I? And then they'll dry quick. Just help pull the moisture out. Yeah, I think the Connies have got the Connies do have a lot of issues. Minty Piz, great name. And yeah, but they're legacy ships nearly. I mean, they are, legacy ships. So the first RSI ship we're going to be doing, we do have the Mantis in our 1 to 500 Q4 batch. There's a reason for that. I'm not going to go into it. It's we think that we think from perhaps a board game point of view, a Mantis will be quite a useful ship to have, and that's sort of in the back of our minds when we're sort of doing these 1 to 500 ships, because we do think they make excellent tabletop minis. It's also the newest RSI ship that we've had, so it's the sort of the best model of anything. Confirms RSI ship reworks. Oh no. Confirmed. I just don't like the other reason why we don't do the comics. Well, there's two other reasons why we don't do the comics, other than my dislike of them. CIG have already done a model of a comic. It's the only ship model they've ever produced is a Constellation. So if you want a model of a Constellation, you already have the option of having one. And also, we don't get a lot of requests for them. Although there's 4 variants, they're very different. There's not a huge amount of shared properties to them. They are very different ships. So, yeah, we'll certainly do them in 500. I mean, we are going to try and do every single ship in 1 to 500 with no exceptions, because there really isn't any other than the Bengal. Not to say we won't do a 1 to 500 Bengal, but we probably will never sell it. It'll be a one-off. It's because it'll be fucking huge. Be about 6 feet long. So, that's not to say I won't sell. I'll fucking sell anything, man. But yeah, it'd be 5 figures. Because it would, oh my god, it would have a lot of design work in it, and we might sell 2 to some complete legends, but yeah, you wouldn't sell many. I do know a few people that might buy one. But then, have they said whether we're going to be able to fly the Bengal? Oh, how big will the 1 to 500 retribution be? I don't know. You tell me. How big's the retribution? Isn't the retribution twice the length of a Bengal? 2.5 kilometers? So yeah, big, like 14 feet or something. Interestingly, you're getting to the point where these are the sort of size of the ships that we did for like Citizen.com, like the Dragonfly and stuff. So as an actual model size, it's not actually that challenging. The issue with it is getting SLA print quality detail on something that size. Either means you're printing it on a gigantic SLA printer, which we do have access to, companies that do use them, but you're talking, tens of thousands of pounds to have stuff printed on them. So it's not exactly a practical thing to do. Derelict Bengals, so people can fly them, but they won't sell them. Yeah, maybe it's such unwieldy. Yeah, king ships are huge, aren't they? But then they're like huge colony ships. But I see the king ships very much like the Wraith ships from Stargate. The sort of big, like colony ships. So yeah, they're going to be gigantic. And presumably armed to the teeth. Well, I was listening to some lore blog type things that Board's been putting out. It's really good. Zim's been like reading these lore posts or doing this lore research and thing about 88 Squadron being wiped out by a kingship, and in that it does say about a kingship could take a fleet on, let alone a squadron. So they're supposedly absolutely gigantic, and not just big but also devastating. I can't wait to see what the Bengals rail, like bottom rail guns, can do. I'll be very disappointed if CIG doesn't make it so a Bengal can hit targets on a planet's surface with that from orbit, because they should definitely be able to do it. Orbital bombardment guns. So they said there'd be one you can salvage and repair. Oh, that's interesting. Because it's like, to me, that's a huge amount of work for CIG from a point of view of actually making it player flyable. Because you can have it in Squadron and in the PU not player flyable and it not cost you a huge, anywhere near the same amount of time as making it a player flyable thing. Because if you've gone through all that effort to get that Bengal put back together and everything, you don't want it to be as buggy as fuck. You want it to be the best thing ever. Wouldn't it be amazing, Nick? Have a player-owned one or player-controlled one. It wouldn't be owned, I suppose. It would be player-controlled. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's no reason why it shouldn't be able to do it. But that, just that sort of orbital bombardment mechanic would be amazing. I suppose it'll only be a more of a thing when we've got, suitable ground targets like player-owned civilized like little towns and things. Threat of aerial bombardment from space. I'm sure all this will be detailed in CitizenCon. I'm pretty sure they're going to tell us that the surprise for CitizenCon is that Star Citizen's really been finished. And it's all done. Releasing beta of Star Citizen. Fixing a Bengal up is going to be interesting. We're going to find the parts. That's not going to be on the shelf of Cousin Crow's, is it? A new engine coil for a Bengal. Oh yeah, the Bengals Org Wars. Yeah, which is cool. I do think it'll be like who controls the Bengal, And that's the thing. The Bengal will be very impressive, but you think the number of people that have javelins, 5 to 6 javelins is going to wreck a Bengal. The 2-meter diameter torpedoes on that thing. It's going to bring the pain. You get enough javelins and it should be able to take a Bengal out. Especially one that's, a Bengal held together by sticky tape. We're nearly there. So we'll have to give these a little wash. Just because if we have any of this sort of dusty stuff floating around, it'll float around in the resin. In fact, that screen we got over there has that flaw in it. Because I mixed the resin and then realised I hadn't done one of these. So I very quickly did it and just threw it straight in, and there was a little bit of this white stuff, and it's made this little wispy cloud inside the cast. It's really weird. Which would obviously be a failure. So you can kind of see that the sandpaper isn't really gumming up too much. Wipe it off. It looks pretty good, and that's because we're using it wet. And what the water does is stop the grit getting sort of bunged up by all the tiny bits of dust of resin. It also cools it as well, because obviously when you're sanding a plastic, you're producing quite a lot of heat on the plastic surface, causing it to melt a bit. Yeah, 40 days. It is on the bridge as well. So that could be the sort of like smoking man's Carrack. Some fantastic adventurer with his massive cigar. Yeah, sounds amazing. Sounds epic. Are we all looking forward to CitizenCon? Anyone really disappointed with the lineup? I'm certainly not. I'm looking forward to Tony Z, as always. Definitely looking forward to the to what Ben Curtis and JC and Paul Jones have to offer us. Very excited about that. Obviously, because it affects me hugely. What ships I'm going to be making soon, and what ships I'm going to be buying. That's a really good question. Minty Piz. Well, currently 100%. So from doing these casts, so I've done this set of I did that. Yeah, so this set of 7 sets of 5. I've only taken 1 full cast from this. The 3 that are left in it just because I ran out of resin. So I poured a mixed 200 milliliters of resin, knowing that probably wouldn't finish it, but I didn't want to waste any. And the nice thing about this is obviously you don't waste any by doing too much. Or by doing too little, because you don't end up pouring as many. But these were absolutely fine, no issues with them at all. They've all passed. There may be some flaws that come up when we clear coat them, because then we'll be able to see everything. But as far as I could tell, there was no issues with them. So that was great. So that's all them done. I'm just going to go and get some clean water and due to have it in something a bit bigger, just because I just want to wash these parts off. Oh, that will do. 1 second. Right. Oh, yeah, so ready for trading to get better. Me too. As a hauler, I cannot wait to actually do hauling missions. You know, we need 3,000 SCU of cargo taken from point A to point B. Get on with it. Oh, man, it's going to be so good. Right, so just put these in here. Don't want to mix them around too much. We're obviously getting them really wet now. And we need to get them bone dry to be able to cast with them. But what I've done is I've just put the pure heater on. My hiccups. And it's just heating up to 60 degrees, so we'll just stick them in that for 10 minutes. Shouldn't be far off pulling the raffle, I don't think. So, it hasn't said it's finished yet, so let's see the time. 3 minutes, perfect timing. So we'll get these washed off and put them in the heater just to let them dry quick. And we'll get everything we need ready for doing the cast. Look forward to all the stuff we won't see for 2+ years. Yeah, I wish I could say that was salty crap, but you know, it's not. Where's my sandworm, damn it? Yeah, where's my sandworm? Oh yeah, but no, trading's the big thing for me. Really is. The shooty's been fun. I've never really done the shooty side of Star Citizen before, and yeah.
Still waiting for ships landing and taking off. Yeah, that's really true, isn't it? Yeah, that kind of ambient NPC-ness. I mean, that to me isn't as important as, gaming loops and things like that. I'd love the NPCs to be less fucking derpy. I'd love to experience the world that creates. But I like a lot of things. So much is reliant on server meshing. So much. I'm looking forward to new systems. If they can get static server meshing so that we can go through to other star systems and just moves us from one server to another, fucking perfect. That's really nice too. Because this is the thing, going into places like Pyro, there's so little in Pyro. The Stanton system is so full, it's got so much in it. If we had static server meshing so that we can jump from one system to another and it moves us from one server to another, cleverly, so it keeps our group together and all that kind of stuff. We can do long range trading, yeah, exactly, exploration, salvage, all that kind of stuff. And also it means that they can just keep adding systems. The systems don't have to have a lot in them, especially from an exploration and mining and salvaging type, point of view of gameplay, piracy, all this kind of stuff. It doesn't need loads of landing zones and stuff. It just needs space and, asteroids and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. I'm really hoping we see, we've got static, because as far as I know, we don't get Pyro until we have static server meshing, i.e., when we go through the jump point, we do the jump point mini game, which looks really cool, and then we're popped into a new server while we're going through the jump point, and then we arrive in a new system, and it's like fantastic. A little bit of madness. Oh no! I've been complaining about Star Citizen. He heard me. How you doing, mate? How you doing? Great to see you. Perfect timing now that you can't enter the raffle. I think you have everything that we're giving away in the raffle anyway, because it's CitizenCon swag. I think you've been through every CitizenCon, so I think you're grand. Right, we're just doing a bit of casting as well. We're casting a full set of Carrack bridges. So a quick update on the Carrack for Madness, and anyone else who's joined very recently. What's the FM Freelancer Max? Oh, I haven't said a thing about the Freelancer Max. What was I saying? Yes, we're cleaning this up, and Carrack news. So the Carrack is we now have our final sign-offs for the artwork from Clan Imperium Games. So that has now been sent to our printers. So as soon as they come back with a delivery date, we can actually set our launch date for the Carrack, which is probably could be CitizenCon weekend, but we're away for CitizenCon weekend because we're down in London at EGX. And then we're watching CitizenCon at a friend in London's. At a friend's in London, not a friend in London's. That makes no sense at all. I'm here for the streamers, not for the giveaway. Excellent. Well, so what happened, Madness? We've got a workshop, so we're signing a lease on a workshop, and we're moving in there on the 1st of November. Really nice big place, nearly 4,000 square foot, big high ceilings, fully insulated, fucking lovely. Exactly what we've been looking for years, and it's literally 2 miles down the road, which is amazing. And basically one of the things that we did as we're trying to tidy up and get all the crap out is we found loads of old CitizenCon stuff, like swag and things that have what we call event detritus. So we've been doing loads of giveaways, giving away the sort of like event detritus from various old CitizenCons and the stickers and the pin badges and all that kind of stuff. So it's been nice to do some physical giveaways, which is quite nice. Ooh, impending Carrack release date. Yeah, so as far as provided that on Monday we get the usual answer from our art people that it's about 10 days print time, we'll be launching on the 17th, so the weekend after CitizenCon. So we're not here for the weekend of CitizenCon because we're down in London. So there's no point launching it then because we won't be here to launch it. So the weekend after, which would be nice because, if we launched it in the middle of CitizenCon, at the end of the day, we launched the Dragonfly at 2019 CitizenCon, and that was different because we were there. We were launching it to the people at the event and selling it directly on the day to those people. Whereas doing it virtually and online, selling it, launching it when there's a huge digital event going on is not a good thing to do because it makes it very difficult. And I really want to enjoy CitizenCon. This is the first CitizenCon I will be able to watch live because I didn't watch the 2016 live, and I've been at all the others. So it's that whole thing of you don't get to watch it while you're there. Even as a punter, you don't get to watch all of the panels and everything because you're there enjoying the event and talking to people and milling about. And, it's amazing, much better than just sitting watching the panels at home. But I am really looking forward to it. so that'll be awesome. So yes, weekend after CitizenCon, which I think Sunday the 17th. I'm just going to go and put these in the cure just to heat them up. Right, cool. They won't take the full hour, but it'll just be nice just to warm them up and get all that water to evaporate. We don't want them to have any water on them that would mix with the resin. Yes, I've had one. Well, thanks to Leonard, we are nearly there. Indeed, I'll be able to. If I had more cameras, I'd be able to have more cameras in there as well. Yes, draw filler. Absolutely. It's fun stuff. I said there's some pins and stuff like they never did another. I don't think they ever sold the Kraken pin and things and stuff like that. So it's quite nice stuff. We've kept a set of it. I'm not going to give away to it. I do like the swag. I'm a big fan of swag, so that's cool. Right, so let's jump across back to the other computer. Right. So yes, this is how the Carrack is getting on. So the Carrack is with our painters at the moment. So this is the one that we'll use for promo artwork and stuff like websites and things like that. So that's looking very, very nice. He's doing such a good job on it. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Just jump back through these photos. So it's all a bit masked out and everything. So I got shouted at for backseat painting. So that gap's pretty big. So I've not put it together yet. I just put it together so I can take a picture of it. It's like, oh, okay. Shut up, John. Stop backseat painting. So yeah, that's looking really cool. This is the metallic one he's done or doing. So this is to match the metallic 1-500 dioramas. Yeah. Where is the Argo Cargo for dominating that ship? We haven't. We'll do an Argo Cargo in 1-500 as a diorama, I guess. But I mean, it's a tiny wee ship. I'd like to do it in 1-40 one day. We'll see where it goes. The Argo for me. I'm an Argo owner. I love the Argo. It's fucking useless until it gets a size 0 quantum drive so it can spline jump. Make the Argo and blow it up. But yeah, no, I love the Argo, and one day it'll be useful. And I kind of hope at some point we will get a size 0 quantum in it. Able to pick up better boxes, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's a long, it needs a gold pass. It needs, Commander Fran, how are you?
Nice ship, nice job. Thank you very much. So this is it's with our painter at the moment. So this is the Carrack getting its final paint job. Argo tears. So we're getting this is sort of getting ready for the 1 to 40 javelin. You know, I can't tell you anything about the 1 to 40 javelin. The 1 to 40 javelin would be amazing. That's a seriously big model. You need a seriously big space to put one. But I'd love to do a big ship like a Hammerhead or something at 1 to 40. A 1 to 40 Argo would be quite nice. Interestingly, a 1 to 1 Argo would be quite nice. And the reason I say that, and it's not actually a ridiculous concept to do an Argo 1 to 1, is that it would actually fit on a trade stand. It's only about 4.5 meters tall in its landing zone with its legs pointing downwards. It would fit on a trade stand. Now, the thing that sort of goes through my head with it is like, is it useful on a trade stand? The cargo, you've got the cockpit is a great big sort of like photo op. So you would have people come around to sit in the cockpit, have their photograph taken like we did with the Dragonfly. So you could have pictures of people flying an Argo and stuff like that. That'd be really, really cool. A PC set. Well, no, more thinking in the back, you'd have the cargo variant and you'd have. It's how many PCs you could fit down each side for playtesting the game. If you're at an event, like a Gamescom type event, could you fit enough people in it for it to be a usable?
But it all adds up, doesn't
event
it, JR?
stand.
The arguing, the craziness, the fact that you're a massive dickhead.
Ewan Carr, thank you so much for the tip. Thank you so much indeed. That has taken us to our target. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. We have reached our target. Daj is going to be so excited, as am I, because we get to have some proper microphones. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you beautiful people that have taken us from under half our target to our target tonight. You are absolute legends. Absolute legends. Proper mic, indeed. And the great thing with this wireless Go 2 Pro microphones, it's a set of two. Because that's the thing, it's actually a kit with two of them. Not for me, not so I can have, double-breasted microphones. But so that, like, obviously we've done streams with me and Jamie, and the streams with me and Cal, so we can have two people in the workshop, both be mic'd up, they're both talking properly to one receiver and all the rest of it. So it's like, thank you so much, guys. That has been absolutely, absolutely amazing. Just a minute, no. It's full immersion madness. Full immersion, right? As long as it's got range, you hear fucking everything. That's the deal. It's behind the scenes, gritty and northern. It's what you get. You get the lot. Does it come to lava just? No, I think it's everything. I'll double check. I think it's a full kit. That 280 is basically kit, transmitters, receivers, mics. Sort of like, and you don't get me wrong. There's a hugely more expensive lav mics you can buy. It's one of those things. It's a bit like headphones and stuff. There is absolutely no limit to the amount you could spend on them. And I get that. Obviously, if you're doing like proper broadcast stuff, you're gonna be spending 20 grand on mic setups and stuff. I mean, fuck, when we used to do stage stuff, we had the Shure SM58A wireless set was about 3 grand, I think. But its ability to get sound through over an astonishing distance with absolutely zero interference when you had the biggest front of house stacks you've ever fucking seen was just amazing. I mean, your brain couldn't work properly in front of these speakers, and it was absolutely fine. Did you say you had the armor nose ready to go? No. So it's designed to add later. So what we've done with the canopy is this is on a magnet. I mean, let's be honest, most of this thing's on a magnet. I could just open up the. I could just actually show you the instructions while we're here. We've shown them off before. We've shown them off. Well, shown them before. I'll show it again. Just go through our ridiculous folder system. One moment. So a bit like the arrow, and I don't know if it's an anvil thing. It might be. We'll see as we go forward. Is oh bloody hell! Right. Is just how many magnets there are on an anvil ship. That one. So yeah, so we don't have. So this comes off on a magnet, so that if and when, I assume when, the armored bridge comes out, we can add it. So we can add it as a separate piece, as either a free piece for anyone who's got a Carrack can just send off the piece like we do with our free spare parts policy, or if there's also new cargo pods and all that kind of stuff, we might do it as a diorama. So we've got a few options. Or the other thing we could do, for example, is say there's a new skin. We could put it in a kit with, say, a yellow canopy for the IAE and the armor bridge and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so we've got options. We'll add it later. So this isn't the box. So this is the instructions. So this is the instructions. 36-page booklet. This is our in-fiction Carrack, the Clara Barton, and a little bit of lore about the Clara Barton and its crew, and there'll be more information on the website. That page isn't live, so don't go to it yet. You won't get anywhere. So nice bit of background information about who the real Clara Barton was, and all that kind of stuff. Just asking for a friend, actually. Get to you in a moment. I'm sorry, I'll get to your friend in a moment. Your friend, yes, all good. Magnet instructions, how to do magnets, and then basically how to build the ship. So I say there's a few bits of gluing. These bits are gluing. The engines, the reason that looks like it's got twice as many engines as it should, is basically there's a set of clear or blue tinted engines and a set of solid engines. So if you're going to light the inside of this, you want to do a lighting build on it. You can use the clear engines and paint the bits you don't want to light and do all that, or you can just put the solid ones in. It's entirely up to yourself, but there's both in there. And then we get on to the insanity of magnets, because obviously we do have the scanning array and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. So we've got the scanner arrays, deployed and undeployed. These are for the bridge, landing gear, forward ramp, because the garage is all modelled and everything. So yeah, loads of magnets, two sizes of magnets. There's 53mm magnets and 10 5mm magnets. So obviously wings with landing gears, all that kind of stuff. Ramps deployed, undeployed. There's the bridge there with its magnets. All of this stuff. So that's the top of the cargo bay. So it's magnets. Keep the engine. Swappable engine, yeah. It's probably a tight enough fit. But I mean, what I would suggest is like having what I class as temporary glue. So things like Yoo-hoo, kind of like the paper poster glues. They're sticky enough when they set to hold things in against gravity, against a bit of shaking. But if you want to pull them out, you just pull them out. Do you know what I mean? You just clean it off. The Carrack stick. Yes, this is the Carrack stick that you get in the thing, and this is for inserting these window pieces. So all of the windows that should illuminate are pieces. Then you can kind of put lights inside it if you wanted. But what I really wanted to do was a bit like Lupercal has done on his painting. He's been able to paint this with the windows not in, so you can see there's just black voids and stuff where the windows are. So he's been able to spray that with the windows not put in, so he's not having to mask those little windows. And then you can put the windows in afterwards, because the windows fit in through the front of it, through the underneath, so you can actually put and glue all of the windows in after you've painted it. And it's like this was just something we really wanted to do. Because we really wanted to allow you to properly airbrush it if you wanted to do that before you put the windows in. Nice center spread, exploration, adventure, discovery, home. Yeah, I'm a Hammerhead fan. What can I say? These Ponzi Carracks. So yeah, lots of windows. Lots of windows in this thing. Even this little window, that's the one above the like that sort of observation window looking out onto the top of the hangar door. And then that's the one that goes around. So it's like a ring that goes around the. This is a masterpiece. Thank you very much. The booklet's not bad too. You've got Darsh to thank for that one. So I'm very pleased with the model. But yes, the booklet is a fucking masterpiece. I love it. So then you've got all the cargo pods, more magnets. There's so many magnets. Where's Swimpool? Wrong ship, not the 890. It's the 890 model. They're going to have to come with actual water. It's like a little pipette of water to fill the swimming pool with. So yes, that's cool. Information about the Carrack, more beautiful Haskahar pictures. So these pictures give you a bit of an idea about kind of the number of things that are on magnets. So all of these are. So all of this is a push fit on magnets. So this is setting up in a landed mode with its cargo pods in, and its hangar closed, and its guns retracted, and all that kind of stuff. But it's ramp open, so it looks like that. And it's scanning aerials retracted. And then you've also got, obviously you can have any combination of these, but you can also go entirely the other way and have its flight wings, have its turrets deployed and pointing in different directions, have its landing gear all retracted, that closed on a stand, and looks like this. And with its hangar open, so you can land your little Pisces in it and all that, because Pisces does come with the kit as well. So there's so much interchangeability on the Carrack. It's got more interchangeability than we've put on any other ship, just because it has so many interchangeable fucking parts. So it's not optional for us, but it does mean that you can, this model can be displayed in all sorts of ways, and because it's on magnets, you don't need to decide how you're definitely going to display it. You can go, I'm going to have it in flight mode this week, and I'm going to, it's just all on magnets, just pop them in and out, and it's lovely. We've also got, that's not really in the instructions because you need to build it. There's another couple of diorama pieces. So there's the Ursa rover as a little separate piece, and there's, as I said, the two Pisces, and there's also a cargo pod that's been dropped and has all its doors open. So you can obviously have the cargo pods themselves as dropped items. It is modelled all the way over, but there's also one where it's open. You can see the gantry inside and all that kind of stuff. And that cargo pod at the back, so you can put it at the back or the middle, it doesn't really matter, it's all on magnets, but that's what the stand attaches to, so it fits on its stand by basically replacing one of the cargo pods and putting it in. And it's weird on whether you want to put it in the middle or the back. It depends what other bits you've got attached to it on where the balance point is, like what its wings are doing and stuff. It's like it doesn't fall over on either one, but it's like when you sort of put it in, you go, oh no, the way I've got it set up, it'd be better balanced in the middle or better balanced at the back, and it's all on magnets, so you just sort of do it as you do it. But yeah, so we're really pleased with it. It's been a journey, and there's all the people involved, all our magic people, it's been a real team effort, this one. Can't wait for this. Well, thankfully you don't have to wait long, because with everything lining up nicely, all the CIG stuff is signed off. We're looking at the weekend after CitizenCon, so a couple of weeks' time. It's going to be going on sale. You can sort of see behind me all of the foam. We're doing the last bits of manufacture on it to put them all on the shelf. And I say, there's no pre-sale on this. It's when it goes on sale, they'll be shipped out the next day. So that's our current strategy with models, is that we don't pre-sell them anymore. It's not worth the stress. It's one of those things, I don't like pre-selling stuff and I don't know exactly when you're going to get it, because we don't have control over when you're going to get it, because at the end of the day, it's dependent on how long it takes to get stuff signed off and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a thing. Right, so we should pick a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. So let's pick a winner. We've had many tickets. If the winner can let me know their address, if they're going to buy a Carrack, and they don't mind waiting a few weeks, because it will only be a few weeks. No, Chuck. It is a entirely digital one this year. Oh yes, I did. I haven't forgotten your question about the other ships. I'll get back to that one. We've picked a winner of our prize draw of CitizenCon swag from years gone by. So yeah, if you're going to buy a Carrack, you don't mind waiting a few weeks for the swag. I will send it with your Carrack. If you are buying a Carrack, but you still want your goddamn stuff, then I'll send it to you straight away. And yeah, so just give us your address, whisper it to me, or email me, or something. So yeah, so picking a winner now. Now, pick a winner, down you. Oh, it's pick 2. Oh, we picked 2. That's fine. We've got 2 to give away. So Paul 3 Keys and Waldeck TBD have both won because I clicked the button twice through impatience. So we've given away 2 this week. Excellent stuff. It's a good job I had 5 of them, isn't it? Good job I had 5 of them. Well, that saved me doing another one next week. That's brilliant. So we still got 1 of those and another one of more random stuff that I didn't have 5 sets of. So I've got 1 more of those after that double giveaway, secret double giveaway. I've got 1 more of those, and I've also got another one of other random shit that I only had 1 of, or a couple of. So that's cool. So we'll do both of those next week as 2 separate giveaways. If I'm not so much of a derp next time. Right, I'm going to go and get the stuff out the cooker because they'll be dry now. They are indeed dry. So, indeed, congrats to the winners. So we're just going to sort of dust these off a little bit. So you see the sort of white residue that's just from the sanding. It just wipes off. So it doesn't need washing again. It just needs literally the outside of that wiped. And then we can start putting them in the molds. So here are the molds. Top streaming as always, people. Oh, let's do this. So this is my little parrot. Do them one at a time now. I don't think there's any crap inside them. So these just pop into these little silicone molds. Like that. And so they've I've not had any failures so far, touch wood, with these. Resin itself, like resin casting, when you're doing it, when you're degassing and pressurized casting, it's pretty bulletproof. I'm just checking there's no crap in the molds. I did leave the molds in the tank just to make sure they weren't gathering dust, literally gathering dust. I think if you're doing this with sort of not degassing, not casting under pressure, I could see you having a lot more failure rate. I'm just going to get cotton buds. Fantastic. Just get some of this dust out. I say this dust is a bit like sort of a chalky powder, and what we don't want to do is we don't want it sort of floating around in the resin. What I might do is grab an airbrush. Just use an airbrush as a quicker way of cleaning it. Not what airbrushes are designed for, but it'll be fine. Since I now have air on this table. Give us loads of pressure. That's quicker. I'm going to put the mold over there. I'm going to go to this camera, and I'll do it. Okay. No, I won't, because that's. So just. Sorry, I'm really paranoid about spraying the dust into the molds. Let's do that first. The one he licked. It is really bad that I do that all the fucking time. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
Ah, dear. Always been curious if the idea approach. I'm going to move the monitor. I moved it down while I was sitting down. Yeah, there we go. Just ripped the power cord out the back. One second, got my monitor from the back to life. Being a real dirt. Right. Always been curious if CID approach to fabrication, licensing,
I'm just
and
happy
events.
to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
Yeah, it's Ian Hawkins. Thank you very much for the point. Yeah, good question. So, sort of neither and both. I need to go just. To be honest, I didn't expect to be sitting down at this one. I could just tilt the monitor. It's sort of on the shelf. So when I built the shelving for this, I sort of made a little weird and focus down here. Did a little weird round bit on the shelf for the monitor to sit on, and stuff. And I've got kind of camera attached up there. I'm trying not to show you the top layer of boxes because there's secrets on the boxes on the top. Has like development and models you haven't seen yet. So yeah, kind of both and kind of neither to Capitalive. So I did a fan project for the GSS unit. So if you ever seen the GSS unit, the sort of big yellow spacesuit locker, I did that genuinely as a fan project out of boredom. I was really bored at my work, and we were doing a lot of big trade events for tent manufacturers and things, and there weren't bad companies or anything, but the fashion of the time was everything was like a fucking iPhone store. So it was just boring, huge, massive white walls, 8-9 meter high walls at big trade events. And we did half an acre of AstroTurf once. To pitch all the tents on. It just became a logistical issue, not a design issue. So it was really fucking dull. And I was just really bored with it. So I thought, I've just got into this crazy game called Star Citizen. I'm blaming Grey-Headed Gamer for that. And so I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll build something. It's what I do when I'm bored. So I built the GSS spacesuit locker that used to be just as you exited Port Olisar. I picked something that was a nice size, a nice big size. I wanted to build something that felt relatively big. And it also worked well from a point of view of it was something that at the time everyone would recognize because everyone literally had to walk past it to get out to the airlocks. So I thought, perfect. So I built that. And then I took it to BritainCon in 2017. So that was sort of April time, 2017. And obviously met Aaron and all those guys at the event. And that sort of started the conversation. And the conversation started off with, they weren't in a position to buy it off me or anything. But we got talking, and I basically offered to lend it to them. To put in the workshop. Just arrived for story time. Pull up a chair. So it got stored at the office. I say stored, it was in their office, displayed in their office. And to me, that I suppose was me being canny about wanting to do more work for them, because, they were more likely to give me work if there was a cool piece of work out there and it worked. Because they then contacted us, they contacted us to do desks for Gamescom same year, 2017. So that's how that relationship started. And as a point for the merchandise and stuff, we actually started off. We approached them for that to be allowed to do furniture to sell. So we did boxes and we did desks and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't really work from a financial point of view because they were very expensive to make, but even more expensive to fucking ship. We only do about 10% of our trade in the UK. It's about 50-50, well, so 47.5% to the US, 47.5% to EU, and 5% to the UK. So shipping desks and stuff was just an absolute fortune. I was a bored gamer. I was. Don't break. So these are really fragile until we cast them inside resin. So yeah, no, it was it was basically a bit of a mutual meeting of companies, really. But yeah, we approached them about the licensing, and then we approached them later on again about doing the kit models and stuff. So they've never approached us on the merchandise front. They've more approached us for the event stuff. And the thing is, hopefully, I mean, we've sort of not shot ourselves in the foot during COVID. We've done what we needed to do, man. But we've basically lost all of our event ability during COVID because we've diversified entirely into the models. All of our space now is dedicated to the models, which is why we've taken on this new workshop. So it's, we're moving to this new workshop. This is all staying here, by the way. This is all set up as staying. We're not moving the printers. We're just moving the event side of the business to the new workshop. And that will allow us to get back to events as events start to come back, which is cool. It was a nice mutual thing. I think at the end of the day, companies like us and CIG have virtually no crossover. They are a digital company making digital things. We are a physical company making physical things. We obviously have talent at building their sort of sci-fi type stuff. I hope to have more time in the future to build things. One of the biggest reasons that the stuff we've built for events has been okay but not amazing is everything was done. We did the Raven in 26 days from commission to delivery. The Kraken and the Dragonfly were 3 months from the start to being in Austin in a different continent. So we'd like twice as long to do everything. Would be lovely, because then we could really get some amazement done. Things like the Covolex unit. A couple of month or so ago, we were doing some more work on our Covolex pickup and drop off unit, and since we've got the workshop, that's sort of taken a little bit of the back burner, just because I've buried it and stuff now. It'd be looking forward to getting back to that soon as we're in the workshop. That's the first. Watch you pitch CL step out the seat locker. No. That would be quite funny though. He'd probably fit in it. It also. It always amuses me because we built that crate that sat on stage in 2017 with all the dry ice coming out of it. And it was like, I couldn't believe the number of comments. We thought Chris was going to jump out of it. It's like, but how? It was only this big. And then I watched the video, and because it was in the blackout, it was actually me that ran on stage and put it on stage and did the tear off and everything as it was placed during the blackout. But of course, I hadn't seen the footage of it. And when you come from the video and the blackout comes up and you can see it, you have no scale reference to realize how big or small it is. It's like, oh, I see now. That's why people thought Chris was going to come out of it. Just because you just had no appreciation of the scale. So that's funny. But yeah, that was funny. I'd love to do, and I have pitched this, but again, it's always money and time. I would love to do a full set, proper set on stage. So you've got actual doors that people come out of and all that kind of stuff for the keynotes and the panels and everything. So you've got obviously the huge video wall, but potentially have the huge video wall so it looks like it's a window in a space station that you're looking out of. So the rest of the time it's sort of got the outside of the space station on it with the CitizenCon logo, and then have actual doors either side that people are coming out onto stage on and stuff. I'd love to do something like that. Right, okay, let's put them all in. I have a lot of ideas for what we could do for per citizen con events and other games. This is the thing. The other thing we're going to do this year is push pretty hard at other companies as well. Star Citizen's really genuinely the only computer game I play a lot of. I'm a huge fan of Surviving Mars and that sort of game. I doubt I'd ever do trade stands for them. But the main game I play is Star Citizen. But I'd still love to do other IP type events, just because I can. And in some respects, it'll be nice doing stuff that isn't Star Citizen, because I am a huge Star Citizen fan, and I can perhaps be a little bit more ruthless with other companies. Yeah, we did do most of the booths at Manchester. That is true. Yeah, we did. We did a good proportion of the booths. I think that's the thing. We are a relatively rare company. At the end of the day, what we do with the CNC and really true to life replicas of stuff. It's only stuff you really see in the film industry, and stuff you genuinely just don't see it that much at events. When you go to places like Gamescom and stuff, they have some really, really cool booths. Don't get me wrong. Most of the big models they have, with a few exceptions, tend to be character models. So they're sort of hand sculpted, sort of full-size character models. I'm not taking anything away from the people who do that. They're fantastic. But if you can hand sculpt something, you're just getting an amazing artist to do it and do it for real. Whereas a lot of the stuff that we do is to take and rebuild digital assets, which is a less common skill, apparently. There's a tiny bit of plastic in that one. Okay. No, still no. No. I've got a tiny bit. There we go. Tiny bit of plastic from the. So obviously this resin forms of plastic, so I said, and you get sort of little bits of wasty bits on the top. You just got to be really careful when you're cleaning them off that you don't end up filling the molds with them. It's just a case of just double checking when you do it, and that is by far the most, the most likely failure on one of these is us leaving something in it. Will you make shit NFTs in the future? I don't understand NFTs. As far as I can tell, it's a pyramid scheme, and it's I can't see how it's not a pyramid scheme. Do you know what I mean? It's like the only way people make money in NFTs is by persuading more people to buy in at the bottom. They're not producing a usable commodity, so it doesn't have value. So its only value is raising its price by persuading more people to buy into it. The actual art, but the actual art has no value, because just because you've sold it as an NFT doesn't mean it can't exist as a piece. It's not like a piece of physical art that physically exists. So you can still copy it. Yes, I know it's attached to a blockchain, but you still have the image. You can still circulate the image separately. It is a digital image. Also have the issue that I would have to design an entirely new IP, because I could never sell. You could never put a Star Citizen ship as an NFT because I don't own the IP for it. So they would sue the crap out of me. So, yeah, no, I don't get it. I really don't. I'd rather earn me money. I do just feel that, NFTs are just ripping people off. That might not be the case. I can almost understand cryptocurrencies because at least it is a tradable commodity, and some people take it as money. But oh man, I've got a friend who's made over $100,000 on NFTs, but he's made $100,000 now. if it collapses, he'll have lost 100 grand, and that's the thing. It's just like it's one of those things that people struggle to get out of once they've made their money. Yeah, exactly. It's a trade. I say it is a pyramid scheme. That's all it is. Someone's discovered a way of persuading people. It's like digital trading cards, but the cards can just disappear. That's the thing. It's like it only takes the servers to break. I don't care what they say. I don't trust these companies. I just don't. But that's just me. But yeah, no interest at all, I'm afraid. No interest at all. If you can't bite it, it's not real. Wow. I memean, that's probably borderline criminal, Chuck. It's just like, oh man. Yeah, I literally don't get it. But I don't get art either, if I'm perfectly honest. I understand the concept of a piece of art accruing in value. At the end of the day, something is worth as much as some other person is willing to pay for it. And that's the only reason why one painting is worth more than another painting. I get that. I could understand if it was trading in dinosaur fossils. I could understand it, right? Because it is a physical thing that you can't make a new one of because they died a long time ago, and you're dealing with scarcity. Same with classic cars. You can't make a Ferrari GT250 from 1969 anymore because it's not 1969 anymore. So I get the value of things like that because rich people buy them and crash them, and now there's less of them. So the ones that are still there are worth more. I understand that. It's like, and I understand the point of crypto. Crypto is so that criminals can buy things and sell things. So that is a genuine use case, therefore it will be successful because it's an untraceable money. Of course, a lot of people in the world need that shit. So that's a very good business model. No, I'm not saying you're a criminal. I'm just saying that that's why cryptocurrencies work. That's the backbone of why they are going to carry on existing, because they're useful to a certain set of people. And they're useful to other people. But... nice. They may so this is the thing. I can understand how this is going to sound fairly shilly and Sally. I understand buying our models way more than buying crypto, because at least there's only over 500 of our models, and some people might drop them or lose them or trade them up. It is going to be. I'm like really interested to see what the first time one of our models appears on eBay. I assume this will happen, of course, sort of after they've sold out. So like once the PTB or the arrow, I mean, we've got 150 arrows left or whatever. Once we've sold the last arrow, we will never make another one. So then it's going to be interesting to see if they accrue in value and stuff, as that sort of thing, especially some of our first ever models. It's going to be interesting. Right. Okay. Gonna have to concentrate now because this is easily fuck upable. Right. So we've got our resin. So this is our blue tinted resin. So we have pre-dyed part B and not pre-dyed part A. Yeah, JRDF model futures. Yeah, absolutely. Let's be honest, you look at the people who buy all the Pokemon cards, they've made some fucking money, haven't they? Right, so we're going to do 200 milliliters, which will not quite do all of these, but it'll be damn close. I might do a tiny little bit more. Just because then I did 200 and it didn't quite do it. So we'll learn from that and do slightly more. Now I've obviously shaken this up really well. You have to mix it well, but obviously put a hell of a lot of bubbles in it. Have a little bit more. A hell of a lot of bubbles in, but that's why we have a degas chamber, so we're good. Right, so that's part one. I haven't got everything. I said I need to get everything ready, and I haven't. So we need some of that. We need a mixie stick. Mixie stick. We need to snap the mixie stick. Otherwise, the mixie stick doesn't fit in the chamber. I'm going to move this. Get this set up. I had a torch. So, in theory, I'll preset this camera up so that we can see what the shiz is going on. So if I turn that light on, we should actually be able to see the bubbling. If I zoom out a little bit, we'll see the pressure now. It's more important to see the thing, I think. So that's fine. So that's ready. Need to open that valve, check the pump works. It does. Check we've got pressure. We do. Okay, I think we're good. So, we've got our stuff. So we're going to add in the other half of this. Looks like a big drink. Don't drink it. Is it related? Is it going to bubble? No, it definitely won't bubble over today because this isn't silicon. This doesn't bubble too much. So we're good. Okay. So that's 2 parts in. Mixy. It goes worryingly white when you start to mix it. And you have to mix resins pretty thoroughly. Don't mix it with cow's gin, no. But yeah, it's very bubbly. Very bubbly. Make sure we're scraping all the bits out the bottom. Okay. Drop it into here. Ooh. That was a mistake. Yeah, made a bit of a mess there. Okay. So we'll flip over to the close-up. There we go. That's it. It's sort of working. So that's dragging all the bubbles out. Yeah, the silicon, because it's so much thicker, the bubbles kind of make it rise almost like a sort of yeasty bread. But because this is much, much thinner, you just sort of get a froth. It's not as exciting. And again, just because the stuff is just so, it's not nowhere near as viscous as the silicon. Pump off and let that keep bubbling. Yeah, it's not as exciting as the silicon bar, sorry. It's kind of a bit frothy and that's it. Right, so let's just make sure we've got our space here. So I did discover last time I did this that the plastic cups that I'm mixing these in aren't as malleable as the other ones. So when you try and bend it into a point where you can pour it more easily, it fucking snaps. So I ended up having to pour it with a snapped cup. So we're just going to have to be careful. Right, I've got a bit for wiping. I think we're good. I might pour them individually and then put them on the stand, I think. Okay. Nearly there. We don't have too long to work with this, and we got about a 9-minute pot life. It's a hell of a lot more than our first one we tried to do this all with. But it's still, still pretty fast. God, there's a lot of air in it, isn't there? A lot of air. Kind of want to let it bubble out until we can sort of start to see the surface of it, maybe, or it just calms down a bit. Running out of time, need to start thinking about taking it out. It's going to start going off. So I think we've got 35 to pour. Oh dear. Still so bubbly though. Don't want to write it off, but I'm going to start running out of time. Yeah, it's going to put an Alka-Seltzer in it. No. I suppose it's just a much bigger amount of resin than we did last time. We've got a lot more air to pull out. I have to call it. Okay, pulling it. Okay. Already quite warm. My camera's out of focus. I have to go to the other one because I'm out of time. Okay. Still pretty liquidy. The problem with these sorts of resins is they go off so quick. Like when they start to go, they just solidify in seconds. It does feel more bubbly. Oop, that was too much. It's an exothermic reaction, so the actual cup's quite warm now. And that's what's going to make it suddenly cure as well. We'll wipe off the top before we put them in the cure. Man, this is getting hot. Oh, it's cured. Ah, shit. Okay, so I'm going to get these ones that we've done. get them under pressure. Okay, that's now pressurizing. So yeah, we waited too long in the thing. You can actually see now that that is a solid, and it literally goes from being a liquid to a solid in literally seconds when it gets to temperature. No, I don't think it was this thing. I think I shook it a little bit too vigorously before I mixed it together. What I've done in the past, which I should have done this time, we'll still have got 15 out of that, maybe. But we'll see. We'll get what we get. What I did find last time is that, yeah, they do need to go under pressure absolutely immediately. So what I did last time is, yeah, I don't have 2 pressure pots or the rest of the dirt. So you have to shake these because they do settle out. But then what I did was I then, with the lid off, I then put that in the degas chamber for like 5 minutes. Because the thing is, this can sit in the degas chamber for as long as I like because it's not mixed. So then you very, very carefully add them together and sort of stir more like folding. I mean, you do have to really well stir these things, but try and fold it rather than whisk it, and that puts less air in it again. And then when you're degassing it, you've got more time. But we do know. So what I will do, we'll go back on the stream. We'll actually time how long that was in the how long that was in the degas and half that. And that we'll have a timer and set that as a hard limit that it needs to be in for no more than half that amount of time. Because we didn't get through all of them, and that's the thing. So but this is all about living and learning. We only wasted half of what we poured. So we've wasted 100 ml of resin, which is 10-15 quid's worth. So not ideal. But this is all about a learning curve. Yeah, degas before mixing. Obviously, we're not time limited on that, so we can try and pull as much air out of it as we can. So just get a better procedure because that's so hot. Like making meringue, exactly. Right, cool. Well, that was the mixed success at the end. That was a bit sad, but I'll put those. No, I'll put them in the box. Stop them getting dusted. It's a little bit of a sad ending there, but I will not let it get me down. Because it's been an amazing stream. You guys have been immensely generous. You and Car and Len and Rain for getting us to our total. I will be getting those microphones ordered. So that we can start playing around with those. And I said they're going to be absolutely perfect. Managed to put my cable across my. They'll be absolutely perfect for the new workshop. And we'll have to decide what our next goal is going to be. But yeah, always trying to make the stream better and better and better.
I'm just happy to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
Bracer699, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much indeed. Let's jump back over here and look about raiding somebody. Who have we got? Who have we got on board the Star Citizen train today? Who indeed? Kane is streaming. Oh, wait, will Kane be streaming in French though? That's the question. I think he'll probably be streaming in French. Oh, exactly. Oh, that'd be ideal. Yeah. A big fan of Kane, but he's a person of a French descent and therefore streams in French, which I won't hold against him. But yeah, that's cool. I've not spoken to Stockley in ages, so that's it. So say hi from us.
Zockley is an absolute star, as I'm sure you all know. And we shall, person of the French persuasion, we shall see you next Sunday. So no more Wednesday streams for the time being till we're in the workshop and we've got all the new tech set up. Because I'm sort of running up and down to the shop at the moment, getting stuff delivered and hopefully start getting stuff set up. I'll try and video us moving the CNC machine because that's going to be fucking hilarious because it weighs 2 ton. And it's a finely tuned piece of machinery that we've got to lug onto a lorry and take down the road and throw into a new shop. So that'll be quite entertaining, I think. Absolutely, and we'll see you all soon. Hopefully, at a live event or one day or another would be fantastic. So thank you very much for tuning in. I shall see you next time. And night Wyborg, Paul 3 Keys, BB88, Patch, Daj, Ewan, everyone. You've all been absolutely fantastic tonight. It's been an absolute joy, and we shall see you next time. Taddy bye.